Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. And don't touch that dial. Our show today is my first show for the new year, 2010. And maybe we should start this show with a meow and a roof roof, because it's had to do with animals. You know, it's a big thing today. You know, people are concerned about animals. And I want to thank Lisa Furman for allowing one of her assistant DAs to come here, who has a separate, that's her job. She's, district attorney has different units, and every district attorney specializes in certain things. She specializes in major crime, but also has to do with animal cruelty and the whole bit. And that's a big thing today, your best friend, animals, right? So I want to introduce my guest today is Abby Silverman, and she is from the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office. Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. Now, tell me something first. We're going to tell you something about you, okay? And where you from? Where you from?
I grew up in Cheltenham.
Well, Montgomery County, right?
Montgomery County. Went to Penn State, and now I'm back in Cheltenham again. I live in West Norton.
Okay. Now, and you're district attorney, right? And I understand your husband's a police officer, right?
Yes, that is
Norristown. Well, we have something in common. I'm a former Norristown policeman. I have to say hello. I don't think I ever met him. Maybe I have at one time or other, but I'll get to know him, tell him to say hi. Okay, now, he got a tough job working in Norristown, right? Thank God, right? So, all right, now, your unit or your job, what is the main thing now? You're to look out for all animals, like you get a complaint, right? What's a scoop?
Well, I'm in the major crimes unit, which includes all violent crimes, assaults, burglaries, robberies, that type of thing. But kind of on the side, my pet project, if you will, is that I do all of our animal cruelty cases also.
Okay. Now, like, what if somebody calls? They call it the police department mostly. Have some kind of problem. What are some of the things that you investigate?
Well, we get the animal cruelty cases one of two ways. They either come through the police department because someone's either called the police department or somebody's seen something in the course of their regular patrols, or they come through the SPCA also. Montgomery County SPCA has a few excellent animal cruelty officers who can go out.
You work in conjunction with them?
Yes.
Yes.
And they can go out and do investigations also. So we get cases through them.
Oh, in other words, if they detect something, then if they think it's something criminal, they touch base with you, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, I guess one of the biggest things, I guess, is the dog fighting, because of publicity. A football player, Vic, got, that's, I don't know if we have that still going on, right? I guess that's big stuff, I guess. In different countries, I guess it's I guess like bullfighting, I guess. But bullfighting is legitimate. But I don't know if animal or dog fight is legitimate in some. I doubt it.
Dog fighting's not legal.
No.
No, dog fighting's illegal throughout Pennsylvania, in all 50 states. There is some of it in the county. It's very hard to, crack down on the dog fighting rings because with the new technology.
Secretive?
Yeah, it's not only is it very secretive, but also with the new technology, apparently what they'll do is they'll have some people watching it on closed circuit TV, so there'll only be a few people at the actual fight, so it'll be harder to actually detect the actual fight itself, and it won't be as big of a crowd as it used to be. We do have one active case right now with a dog fighting ring out of Pottstown that came to us through the Pottstown Police Department. It's coming up for trial pretty soon, actually.
Well, how do you prosecute when the dogs don't witness? The dogs can't talk.
That's definitely a challenge. But if you think about it, people prosecute murders, and murder victims can't speak either. But
yeah, well, you got me there. Okay, you got me. All right, but
there's
all right,
certain things.
but all right, okay, but then you got the witnesses that are uncooperative, naturally, right?
The people, in every kind of case.
Right. Well, but I guess in this here, where you have the witnesses, the guys that are betting, I guess, I guess it's most likely, right? It's animal fighting is for betting. Wow. And so what you prosecute, what can the most somebody can get on that? Do you have any standards or?
Dogfighting
Yeah.
is a third-degree felony, so, I mean, it can carry significant.
Third-degree felony?
So it can carry significant jail time.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my God, okay. Okay, now, how about other, we'll say, animal abuse? Tell me something about that. What else, what are some of the other ingredients or some of the other investigations that you called upon? Yeah.
I guess there's two other than dogfighting, I'd probably say there's two main types of animal cruelty that we get involved with. The one is the hoarding, is what it's called. I feel like it's become more prevalent lately. I don't know if it's
What do you mean,
because
what is that, hoarding?
hoarding.
Yeah?
When people, for some reason or another, tend to kind of collect and hoard animals.
Oh.
I had a case recently out of, I believe it was out of New Hanover. They went into a woman's house.
That's the other part of Montgomery County,
Yeah.
right?
And she had, I believe it was 30-some cats or dogs, and a trailer behind her house, she had like 25
God,
cats.
yeah. Well, I guess that sometimes they're not hitting on all cylinders for somebody to do something like that, you know? I mean,
Well, there was recently a house in West Norton that the Pennsylvania SPCA took about 150 cats out of.
wow. Well, you know, I had a cat and I had a dog, you know, but to take care of, they're not taking care of them, you know. How can they do
No,
it? They can't take care of them.
And I think, I mean, with the hoarding, I think a lot of times it starts out with a good intention. People think that they're helping by rescuing animals, and then
Oh, yeah,
end up so
they think
overwhelmed,
they
can't
think they're
feed
helping
them.
them, they're not, right.
They can't feed them, they can't
Yeah,
provide the
yeah.
proper vet care. They've had, not in our county, but there have been hoarding cases out of Bucks and Delaware County where they've actually found dead animals, like underneath the other animals, so it just
God,
gets
yeah.
out of control.
And, but you got a lid on this though, right? I mean, your information, a lot of people are coming in with good information.
Yeah, well, with the hoarding cases,
And-
a lot, you'll have neighbors calling because, they'll complain, they'll be able
Yeah.
to smell things, or they'll notice that something's not right.
Well,
And it becomes a public safety issue at that point.
there's there certain things that people should be on the lookout. I think the SPCA have some kind of information like that, what to look for. And
Yeah, I
like a
mean,
neighbor or somebody.
I think it's just kind of being aware of things around you, and, if something doesn't smell right or doesn't look right, it's
Right.
probably not. So
Right.
the SPCA, always welcomes calls. They'll go out and check on things, see how everything's doing.
Yeah, and how about, well, the SPCA now, they're the first line of defense, I guess you would call it, right? And is that a volunteer outfit, or what did they?
No, it's a nonprofit organization.
Nonprofit?
The animal control officers, that is their job, though. I mean, it's not kind of like a side thing they do as a hobby or anything. That is, full-time position animal control officers. The Montgomery County SPCA also has to house all of the animals during the cruelty trials.
To a trial.
Correct,
Right.
because unless the defendant is willing to sign the animals over, the SPCA has to maintain the animals, take care of the animals, provide veterinary care for the animals, and all of that pending the outcome of the trial, which becomes, a large burden on them, which is part of the reason that I started that SPCA drive that we had spoken about.
Now, there was a big article in the Times Herald. You had the front page of the Times Herald, a big article about that. That's how it came to my attention to have you on this show. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there really concerned that have animals, and so now what was the theme of that? Something you were trying to express cooperation with the people and let people know that you do have I won't call it a unit, but that's your job. It's your assignment.
Yeah, well,
What are you trying to tell the people? What are you trying to let the people know that if they have animals, there's somebody out there that can help?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that we had hoped to achieve through the article was that the district attorney's office is running this SPCA drive, that we're looking for, any types of dog and cat food, blankets, towels, any of that. Because in prosecuting all the animal cruelty cases, we came to realize how much of a burden the SPCA
Right.
bears with holding on to all of these animals throughout the outcome of prosecution. I mean, it can take a year, it can take 2 years, and that whole time the SPCA is incurring costs and and all of
Oh,
that. So
okay.
the purpose of the article had kind of been to get the word out about that because we were trying to
And that
aid
was,
them.
that was to give some food or something?
Yep.
Run that by me again?
Yeah, we had a drive, or are currently having a drive at the
It's
district
still
attorney's
going on?
office. Correct.
I remember the Times Herald and Mascara, they had something, they're collecting food and stuff for Christmas for the animals.
Correct,
Is that,
I think-
that was something different?
Yes, I think theirs was through the Pennsylvania SPCA, I believe. I could be wrong, but ours is specifically for the Montgomery County
Montgomery
SPCA.
County. So what do you want to tell? Montgomery County, all right? Where can they drop stuff off at, did they say?
They can bring it to the courthouse, the fourth floor.
Fourth floor?
Fourth floor of the courthouse is the district attorney's
They
office.
can leave it right there to security, maybe. Huh?
Yep.
Maybe the security guys will take care of it, get it up there. You know?
Absolutely.
What can people bring? Like you said,
Any kind of animal food, dog food, cat food, any type of animal treats.
in cans and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
in
right?
cans and
Packaged,
sealed
no,
bags.
No loose stuff.
Right, no loose food.
Okay.
Kitty litter, that kind of thing. Also, when the SPCA officers go out to an animal cruelty scene, a lot of times the animals will be filthy or emaciated, wet, something like that. So they always need towels, blankets, even old,
okay.
ripped, used towels and blankets that they can use at the scenes.
Paper towels, stuff
Yep.
like that. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what Abby said, that if you want to drop off and help out, let's drop something off, go to the courthouse, leave it off at the courthouse. I'm sure the security guys will take it up to the district attorney's office. And
They can
it's
point you
great,
in the right
It's,
direction.
it's one hand washing the other. You got to help each other out a little bit, And now, the animals themselves. Do you have an animal?
I do have an animal.
What kind?
We have an Australian Shepherd that we got from the rescue about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess now.
Oh, yeah? And
She is our baby.
what's the name?
Her name is Dash.
What?
Dash.
Dash? Okay.
She came with her name.
What color? What?
She is gray and white.
Oh, yeah?
They look like border collies. She's a herding dog.
You got a little Bambino, too?
I have a stepson. Yes.
A stepson. How
He's
old?
2.5.
2.5.
Yes.
Okay. And the dog?
I
Don't get
think
near.
she kind of feels like she was there first. So they're not. She is protective of him. She'll sleep across his door, and if he cries, she goes up to his room, sees what's going on, but she doesn't.
No?
She's not too into actually playing with him.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, the district attorney's office. Now, you do other work. I know you talk about animals, too, but there's some other stuff about crimes and stuff like that, Tell me something about some of the other things you do.
We do, my unit, the Major Crimes Unit, does all kinds of other violent crimes. I have a lot of robbery cases. I recently had a case yesterday. A man pled guilty. He had been videotaping his ex-girlfriend. He had hidden cameras in her house.
You had what?
Hidden cameras in her house.
Yeah?
And had videotaped her in some of her most private moments. And he
That's
pled guilty to that
video.
yesterday. Yes.
Yeah. What's that Norristown case?
There's a similar ongoing Norristown case,
There
but
was a
this
Norristown case where a guy had cameras all over the place. Yeah.
correct. This was
Yeah.
a different one.
I think they found him guilty, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure what happened with him. I
Well,
believe
usually,
he did.
Another thing, too, when I had Judge Hodson here, President Judge, he told me that they have another unit not unit, but Judge Smythe has to do with now where someone commits a crime and it's borderline maybe mental or something, and he takes that. That's something new.
Yes,
So you take a case like that, where the guy's he's not hit on all cylinders, a little wacko, for doing things like that, right? So actually, maybe he don't belong in jail. He belongs in a mental institution or something. I don't know.
I mean, like I
don't
said,
know. So
it's not my case. I don't really know anything
Well, in
about
other words,
that case.
I understand that. You prosecute. Where they go, it's not up to you.
Right, but
Right,
there
right.
is a mental health court now. There is a new
Same-
program for mental health
Right.
based, I think, services.
Right. In other words, what you prosecute, right? That's it. It's not your job where they go, right?
No, our office does recommend
you recommend, yeah,
people
yeah,
for a mental health court and such. But
But what I'm saying is now we find now that they're looking at maybe there might be a mental problem there where you're looking
Right.
out for what's best for them,
Right.
The same thing, you have a unit on the drug where
That's true, drug court.
Judge O'Neill.
Absolutely.
Right. I used to work with him when he was a DA. I was a county
wow.
detective. Yeah, a lot of fun. He's still a great guy. I think I've had almost all the judges. Now I have to get these new judges, seven new judges, right?
I know. You got a lot of shows coming up.
Right. How many now? We have Silo, I know, and Coluccio, I know, and Cahalan.
Pat Coonahan.
Yeah, she's a good bocce player, you know. She
Oh,
played
really?
At the.
I did not know that.
At the clam bake, when the attorneys have the clam bake. She's
up
the
in
champ. Yeah, I've tried the
Phoenixville
bocce.
or- oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a good, she's champ. So, okay, now getting back to this here. How important is this? What I'm trying to say is, the people that own the dogs, that's a real close thing, right? They're really concerned about it, right? And they're cooperative, and when you're going to prosecute, or so, like the people, like witnesses like a neighbor, do they come? They make the complaint. Will they follow up on anything like that? You find people like that, or
it depends. It's really case specific. I mean, it depends. You know, I had a case a few months ago where a kid was he was, I think, 19 or 20. He was trying to drown his stepmom's dog, and he had it by one of those extended leashes and was kind of throwing it up in the air and then throwing it down into the pool like a fishing rod.
Oh, yeah.
And those were the neighbors had seen that, and the neighbors were the one that called the police, and the neighbors were continually, you know, ready to go for the prosecution, and were very cooperative. So a lot of times it is neighbors, and they're very cooperative. But
yeah. Well, I'm trying to relate that witnesses maybe they are more emotional. I shouldn't say more emotional. Are they more emotional when they have to testify, or they're willing to testify more so against someone on a crime? You know,
people get very worked up about animals. I think I've noticed that there's definitely kind of a widespread sympathy or empathy for animal crimes that people tend to have in common. The public in general tends to get, I guess, more outraged, very outraged over crimes
maybe
against animals.
That's the word I'm trying to say. For some reason or other, I mean, sometimes maybe they're afraid of retaliation or something, you know. But the people in love with the animal. I know when I go into nursing homes sometimes, and I had a little string band and entertain, and a couple of singers go in and dance. And a lot of people have little dogs, in nursing home, and it's so close. And I remember when I was with the juvenile division, I remember saying that children are growing up with an animal, they learn respect because they're teaching that dog or cat respect. Don't do this and don't do that.
Right.
So they're teaching this animal the same things that they should be doing later on in life, And so animals are very helpful.
They actually have programs now. I think there's one on A&E, one on Animal Planet called Cell Dogs. It's where inmates are taking rescued dogs and rehabilitating them and teaching them obedience, and they get adopted out. And there's one called Pit Bulls and Parolees. And I think it's the same general theory, that if you kind of form that bond with the animal and you teach the animal the respect and obedience, that you kind of learn it, and internalize it yourself.
I have a friend that's a retired school teacher, Pat Stout, and she loves cats. I mean, she goes around rescuing cats. Every time I talk to her, she's out rescuing some cat or something.
She's not
and
a
then
hoarder,
they go to
is
Kitty
she?
Cat. What is there? A place by the name of Kitty Cat where there's sometimes it was on DeKalb Street, I think now.
Kitty
it's on
Cottage.
Yeah, Kitty Cottage. Yeah, she's and oh my God, she can tell you more about cats, and she's so concerned, like I had to rescue the cat, I said, okay.
Well, I think my husband gets concerned every time I do a Cruelty case with dogs that I'm going to come home with.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we got a guy in the Northtown Police is very concerned about that. I'm sure. I got to meet him, right? But I think a love of an animal. I mean, it's more so today. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because. I don't know, I'll just throw this in there, but maybe because of the economy, they got to get close to an animal, because, I don't know, I don't know what to come up. But I really, for the district attorney to take, to look at something like it and say, look, there's a need for it, and to assign somebody to do it, I think is, And she's that way. I mean, I'm going to throw bouquets at Risa, but I know that, you know, I'm a very good friend of Lynn Abraham, who's retiring, and I'm hoping to get her on the show. I'd like to get Risa and Lynn together. When I used to referee professional fights, she used to come and sit ringside, you know, at the Spectrum, you know, and she'd, come on, hit that, you know. So real people, you know the story. If you want to swim, you got to get in the water. The same thing with the district attorney, a policeman. He wants to get to know the people, you know. And so what you're doing, you have a love for your job, and also a love for, you know, the job that's investigating this type of stuff. All right, now, how about cats? What's the scoop on cats? They're not abused as much as dogs, right?
I have had more dog and horse cases than I have cat cases, but we see a lot of the hoarding with the cats. A lot of the people that kind of amass large amounts of cats.
You'd think the cats are easier to take care of than dogs, I think. Maybe that's why they have more cats.
To be honest, I've never had a cat. I'm more of a dog person.
Yeah, but I think a cat is a lot, you know, you don't have to worry about when you go outside, or
right.
I don't know. Now, I think the most classic thing that brought all this together, I guess, is the football player Vic, by what he did now, you know. And a lot of people, I don't know if they read all what went on, but that was a professional outfit, right? I mean, he did. Are you familiar with any of that?
Yeah, it was a
Tell
pretty
me something about that, or how that operation is something.
I mean, it was a pretty horrific case. I mean, I just know that a lot of the times, which a lot of the dog fighters do, I mean, dog fights are mostly fights to the death.
That's what I was going to ask you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be the fight to the death, right?
They can last from 5 minutes to 5 hours.
Oh, in other words, they give a time limit.
No, they don't have a time limit. So
No?
if one dog takes the other dog down in 5 minutes, then it's over. But sometimes these fights can take 5-6 hours of the dogs just going at each other. I mean, it's outrageous.
Oh my God! I mean, being a former professional fighter and referee, I was a referee, you know. But I thought it'd be a break. Say, well, okay, give a break or something, you know. But no, that's a fight to the end. That sounded like the Romans years ago.
Yep. And a lot of times, you know, if one dog is just injured badly, if it doesn't die. I mean, I think one of the big things with the Michael Vick case was that the way that they would then dispose of the dogs that were injured.
Oh, well, what's the scoop on that? How did he dispose?
I think that some of the articles said things like electrocution or just
that's
eating
right.
them.
I did remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And he was. So I don't know. I don't think, you know, people will not forget that. I mean, they can maybe forgive or something, but I don't think they're going to forget. And he made a lot of money on it. I don't know, did he make money on it or what? I can't understand.
I'm not sure. I know that he was in the fortunate position of being able to finance, part of, I believe, his sentence was that he had to finance the animals getting rehabilitated.
Yeah.
So I know he was in the fortunate position of being able to pay, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to help rehabilitate some of the dogs from his kennel, but...
They're making him come up with some money now?
Correct,
right.
Correct.
Well, maybe they ought to take care of some of the...
Well, that's what we try and have them take care of. When a defendant's found guilty in animal cruelty, we ask that they pay restitution to the SPCA for however much the SPCA has spent.
That's part of restitution.
Up until that point,
and they usually have money, right? Meds and meds. Half and half, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, when they bring a case to you and they tell me, they have to tell you what happened, okay? If somebody, let's say that I'm going to tell you that there was a dog fight, what do I tell you? What are some of the things they tell you to make a case before you said, wait a minute, this is a case, before you grab it?
A lot of times, especially with the dog fighting, there's a lot of like specific paraphernalia that you look for.
Look for that evidence.
Correct. There's a lot of times they'll have the treadmills that are rigged for dogs. They've got treadmills that have like the leashes attached to the front and the blinders on the sides. There's a lot of specific veterinary supplies that the dog fighters will have.
Oh, okay.
There's marks you can observe on some of their dogs that experts can come in and look at and say that, you know, this is likely a result of a dog fighting experience. So there's also, you know, scorecards you can look for.
Oh, okay.
That type of thing. So
you look for the winners, right?
I mean, we
Abby!
pick and choose. We take them all.
Abby, the half hour is over.
Okay.
And this
Well,
is
thank you
great.
so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, really, I appreciate this, and I hope you got something out. I'm sure I did. And so if you have a problem, or if you know there's something going on in the neighborhood, give a call to District Attorney's Office, call your police department, and make note, time, when it happened, what you saw, make a little note, write it down. That way when the police come, you'll have all the information. So until we meet again, keep bobbing and weaving. But now how about a little treat here? We'll say,
Oh.
all right, and then say, to
Thank
your
you.
health, Allah salud, to your health. Ready? And then I got a little something here for you to put in your office. A
Oh,
little something
thank you.
Thanking you for coming on my show. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our show is covered by Verizon 45, Comcast 28. We cover all of Montgomery County, 45, 28. Okay? Keep bobbing and weaving. Thank you. God bless each and every one. That's it.
Thank you.
Pictures sitting there with that background.
Absolutely.
Good public, the guys on run for office. How was it, Rock? What kind of